Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm starting to share my screen, and I see that session recording was started. So I think that I can start because there are a lot of material that I will tell you today. Okay, so today I will tell you about SOLR and what's the difference with Lucene, how it can be used with Sitecore, and other things. So I wanted to start with this slide. This slide is important because we need to understand that SOLR uses Lucene inside itself. So searching, indexing, analyzing, everything is based on Lucene engine. That's why, for example, you can easily switch between SOLR and Lucene, and that's why content search Sitecore API is compatible with both systems. But there are differences between Lucene and SOLR. From this diagram, you can see that Lucene is just small part of SOLR. SOLR contains additional request handlers, responses. It contains ability to replicate index and other stuff. And now let's go to differences between Lucene and SOLR. The main difference is that Lucene itself, it's local based. All files that you have are on disk. But SOLR is server based. It means that you can have only one server and share that SOLR server between different Sitecore instances. As SOLR is server based, it means that it can be scaled. We can have few SOLR servers, but if we will have few Lucene indexes with same data on same machine, we will not get any benefits and we can't scale it. Other benefit is that rebuilding of indexes could be done only on one instance. We don't need to run it on each box and wait until it finished. And if you have CM and CDs, it's a very, very big benefit. And the another one benefit is when you rebuild an index from the scratch, you are able to leave search working on with SOLR. But when you rebuild an index with Lucene, while it's starting to build, there are nothing in the index, and search over the site doesn't work. Now let's see how SOLR basic configuration is done. So here is simple diagram that we have. We can have Sitecore CM server, and it can work with multiple SOLR cores. SOLR core, it's the pretty same that the index in Lucene. So I will use core and index as synonyms in this presentation. And Sitecore CD server or CD servers can work with the same core and it means that we are able to add documents to index, and they are immediately appears on CD servers indexes. And that's great thing, because when we have Lucene, firstly we change something that this changes appears on CM index, then it causes event that something happened. This event causes remote event, and that remote event causes index rebuild or index update on CD servers. So there are a lot of actions, and one of them can fail and you will get nothing on CD servers. With SOLR, CM server push index changes on SOLR server, and these changes are immediately appears on all CD servers. But how to be with rebuild? When we start rebuild, Sitecore CM server starting rebuilding index from 0 documents. And on the rebuild start, there are no documents in index. And that's bad, because 0 documents in index means 0 search results on CD server. And that causes that search doesn't return anything. But the same issue is with Lucene. When you start to rebuild index on any of servers, it can be CD, it can be CM. When it's starting, there are no documents, there are no search results. But with SOLR, this issue can be solved, and it is solved by switch on rebuild solve search index configuration. Yeah, in Sitecore also developers loves long names of classes. What it is? With SOLR, we can duplicate each index. We can have 2 web indexes, 2 master indexes, 2 core indexes, and so on. And we duplicate each index, and we name it rebuild. And also we change one configuration file. When we start an index rebuild, not update. Update is just adding one document to index. Indexing isn't started from 0 documents, it's just update or adding something. But when we starting from 0 documents, we started from different index. So one index is invoked, and CD servers works with it. And during this time, we rebuild index on another core, which is named rebuild. And when the rebuild is finished, we just swap these indexes, and we get a new index on CD servers and on CM server. And if we will start to rebuild again, this operation will be repeated once more. We will rebuild the index, we will swap them, and the new index will be used. Here I'm talking about SOLR servers, SOLR cores, but isn't too complicated to install it. Let's move on to the installation. So the first thing before starting installation, you will need to define what version you should use for your Sitecore instance. Here is table of compatibility of SOLR indexes with Sitecore. The important thing from here is that for production, you should use certain versions. But for your dev instance, it's allowed to use almost any of SOLR versions. Exception is SateCore 9. But for any SateCore up to 8.2, you can use almost any SOLR version. So you can have one SOLR server locally and reuse it for different SateCore instances. Now back to installation. Let's. I don't think that it's complex, and let's make a speed run of SOLR installation. As example, I decided to take Sagittarius Agency website. It's based on Lucene, but during this demo, we will make it to use SOLR. So let me switch from presentation and let's start timer to define how much time we will need to switch to SOLR. You can write your assumption about time in the comments to see how long it will take. So let's start. First of all, I have Sagittarius website. It's based on Lucene search indexing. And also I downloaded SOLR. I downloaded the NSSM. It's not sucking service manager. And I will set up SOLR. I will reconfigure Sagittarius Agency website, and we'll see that it will start to use SOLR. So firstly, let's test if it searches with Lucene. Let's see. And while it's loading, yeah, we get some results. While it's loading, let's switch to console and start installing SOLR. So I need to run command prompt Windows application. I will switch to different folder. I will install servers. Let's name it SOLR demo. Oops, I forgot to type install. Yeah, now I get window where I need to put paths, and I need to put arguments. First argument is -f. It means that it will be run in foreground, and second is port. Let it be 9999. And let's install servers. Oops. Oh, perhaps it's already installed. Let's name it SOLR demo 2 or demo 1 and change port. Yeah, it hangs. Let me open services and check what I have here. Oh, I already had SOLR demo service and it caused this issue. So let me close this application and start again. SOLR demo 2, for example, change SOLR but -f -p 998. install service. Service was completely installed. Let's check. Yeah, we have it here, and let's start it. Now, when service is started, we should be able to open it from browser. It's the port that we specified. We got it, but we get some exceptions. I guess I know what it is. It's due to I left course previous course in here, so I need to remove them, and I will restart service, and it will show us that there are no cores. Let me remove and restart. It's loading. Yeah, and now we have no cores available, and we will be able to add the additional cores. Not sure why it tries to use a different folder. Let me remove SOLR demo. Stop it. Still the same. Still the same. Still the same. It's not good. Let me stop services and remove them. Remove. Okay. Let's check. It wasn't removed. Doesn't exist. It was removed, and the second one was removed.
That was your fault, was it?
And the last one.
Yeah. Right.
And the last one was removed. Let's see, now we don't have, and run again installation. It takes additional time because of problems. Let's speed up. Here we get service, refresh, start it, and see what we have here. Yeah, now we have now everything fine. We don't have any exception, but we have two cores. Let's am I using the right SOLR demo template? Oh, it seems using wrong catalog. SOLR demo. Why I removed it from wrong place? Template SOLR server SOLR. Yeah, they are in use. So let me stop service, remove files, and start service again, and we shouldn't see any cores. So it's actually a great thing that we can copy cores from one machine to another, and they will be available here in admin. So now let's back to command line and create some cores. Let's switch to SOLR folder and run core creation. Yeah, now we should be able to see new index. Yeah, it was created. Let's check what we have on the disk. It's wrong catalog here. Template, SOLR, server, SOLR. Its uses here. SOLR, server, SOLR. Remove these files, and here we have master index. And what we need now we need to switch configuration from managed scheme to use classic index scheme factory. It means that we need to force SOLR to use predefined scheme instead of using dynamically generated scheme. I renamed managed scheme file to scheme XML. I'll also need to open SOLR config and add a few magic lines. The first line is switch scheme factory to use classic index scheme, and I also need to remove processors that will add additional fields to if any document will be added to index to index with new document. So I need to remove this one section. Now I will save SOLR config, and the next step is to update this scheme XML config by Sitecore. Yeah, now let's open page from Sitecore control panel and patch scheme XML file. Here I need to put address to scheme, and let's name the second file scheme1, for example, and click generate. I got response that new scheme file was generated. I see that scheme1 file appeared here. What Sitecore does, Sitecore adds its own fields for scheme. And let's now comment the previous one and use the new one. And we have new scheme. Also, here is one additional step. We need to add one custom field. Sagittarius Agency website uses only one custom field. It's rendered page content, and I need to add this field to list of fields. So here it is. Oops, wrong place. So yeah, now we get one index configured. We can either copy this folder a few times, or we can do the same thing as we did before with running creation of course and we will copy configuration files to course. Let's create Sitecore Analytics index. Let's create Sitecore Web index. Let's create Core index. And now let's copy configuration from master index to newly created folders. We can see that new courses were created. Copy, replace files in destinations. For analytics, it's done. For core, let's do it. Yeah, it's also done. And for web, yeah, it's also done. Now let's switch to Sitecore and make configurations of Sitecore. I put it into a netpub folder. Here it is. Application config include. Here you can see that we have configured Lucene indexes and disabled SOLR indexes. Let's remove all Lucene indexes except default index configuration and uncomment one by one SOLR indexes. Master web. And after uncommenting it, we need to change default SOLR configuration. We need to change port. Local. Let me look for port. Yeah, here is URL address that is used for SOLR, and we changing port. And what also we need to update global RCX file. For global RCX file, we need to register through inversion of control SOLR configuration. So let's open global RCX file. Here it is. And we need to change from what it's inherited. It should be inherited from one of inversion of controls. Yeah, let's do it. And now let's back to browser and see what we will get. Dev Sagittarius Agency. I hope that it will start, but probably we will get some mistake here. Oh, I forgot to restart service. It means that newly added. We changed configuration, of course, but configurations, of course, will be applied only after restarting of service. That's why I will restart service. And now I will open Content Manager and try to find something in Content Editor. Yeah, here it is. Let's search for something. Oh, where is this window? Yeah, here it is. Let's type asterisk, and we should get nothing. Yeah, no facets, and we will get no results. Let's now rebuild the master index item processed. So we are getting some items to be processed. Let's check what's going on in our SOLR console. In master index, we don't see any documents for now, because And now we can see that the size of indexes is changed. Previously it was 70 bytes, and now it's 4 megabytes, it's 12 megabytes, and one by one new documents are added to index. And let's wait until it finished, and we will be able to see results. We can check meanwhile the scheme. We can see that there are default sitecore fields, and yeah, index was successfully rebuilt. Now let's check. Will we get any results? Yeah, here we are. We have SOLR configuration configured on Sagittarius Agency website. Let's check time. 20 minutes. So if project managers are listening to me, you need 20 minutes to force developer configure SOLR on your project. Of course, it's a joke. I spent it 3 hours yesterday to install Sagittarius website, configure SOLR. I faced with few problems, and attentive developers will say that I can't do this stuff with global ISAX. I will need to do it in different way. But in general, it's finished. I also can rebuild index for web, and also results, search results will be appeared on Sagittarius Agency front end through SOLR index. So million hours was wrong assumption.
I nearly got it right.
Now, yeah, we got sitecore web index rebuilt. We can open dev Sagittarius Agency web page and check, and we will check if something will appear. Yeah, on here on SOLR admin console, we can see that web index also isn't empty. It should contain something. Let's check how it looks. Not sure why it's taking so long.
Anton, can I just check? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's loading. SOLR loads quicker. Yeah, here we have, and let's check something. Let's type Umbraka, for example, and we'll see if we'll get something. What we have, we have some pages. We have some search results, and these search results are based on SOLR. That's it. Now let's back to presentation, and let's back to benefits that can give you SOLR. One of benefits that I showed on previous slides is that it is possible to scale up SOLR. And one of possible scaling up is SOLR replication. Here is example how it could be done. In a similar way, it's done on Trafalgar website, where we have one SOLR master server, and we have a few SOLR slave servers which just copies information from SOLR master, and CD servers works with SOLR slave servers via load balancer. And in this case, if there are a lot of search on your website and you need to scale up search, you need to have more power in it, you can do it by SOLR. You can't scale up in same way with Lucene because it's file-based, it's not server-based. And here you are able to add as much SOL servers as you need. The other type of scaling that could be used is SOLR sharding, but this type of scaling is also available for Lucene, and this scaling means that you save part of index in one place and the second part of index in other place, and by some logic you define what part of index to use. It could be useful when you have very big indexes, you have a lot of documents inside of it, and only in that case you need sharding. But before using sharding, you should consider to dividing your big index into smaller indexes, because actually it could be similar, but sharding configuration is too complex, and that's why probably will be more convenient for you to just have more indexes. Like, for example, we have on Trafalgar, we have separate web index, and we have web content, and we have web data. Instead of making some sharding, we just added additional index. Other feature of SOLR is easier of configuration. I already showed you that it could be configured very quickly, but it's also is powerful with configuration. Here is list of files that you need for configuration. You saw that I used scheme XML file. This scheme XML file contains a list of all fields that are in index. SOLR itself allows this scheme XML be either dynamic or get this scheme XML from some URL address, but I don't think that it's required for Sitecore, but this option is present. Also, I changed the SOLR config file. This file is used for admin UI that you see, where I checked if there is something in index or there is nothing and indexes are empty. And also it's used to handle requests, for example, update index, make selection, and other things. Other useful configuration files are stopwords and synonyms txt files. They contain list of words that should not be indexed. For example, for English language, it's article. You don't need to index A or Z for each text, because when you will search for A, you will get everything on your site. That's not okay. And out of the box, you have these top words for, I think, about 30 languages. So it comes out of the box, it's free, and it's powerful, and you just need to use it. Now let's make one more demo about how to find issues with SOLR. For this demo, I will use my local Trafalgar instance, and let me Let me open it and find something here. Yeah, here I got home page, and let's imagine I want to travel to Iceland. Yeah, Iceland. Why I'm getting Ireland in search results? Let's open this page and check if there is word Iceland on this page. Why I see Ireland in the list? So page is opened. Let's look for Iceland. This word is absent. Let's figure out what's happened. SOLR saves all its logs on the server. So when I will open my Trafalgar SOLR server, it's located here, log files, and under server logs, you have all your SOLR logs. And when I open the last one, I can see all requests. And let's check. Let's check somewhere here should be search for Iceland. I think here it is. Here it is. And let me copy this query. So we made search for Iceland. Now we find query that was executed, and now we will check why we see different. Why we see Ireland in search results. Before copying this query string, you need to replace plus sign with space, place all, and one small specific to Trafalgar. I think we don't need the last one. And now let's open SOLR console. It's for Trafalgar. It's located on different port. You can see that I have a few SOLR instances that are just running on different ports, and so it's not a problem to have as much SOLR instances as you have. You also can even make some experiments with the replication only on your local machine. Let's select the web content index query and copy my query and execute it. Yeah, I got results. Have I in results Ireland? Yeah, I have. Let's look on query and see what's wrong here, or what could be wrong. I already know, but you also can notice that here we can like query. So in search results, we got also words that are similar to Iceland, and they are similar on about 80%. Let's try to remove this part and see what will we get, Ireland or no. No, we don't get it. So in this way, you are able to make your experiments with search without changing code. So you can, for example, you can have some requests from client that you need to display results in this way. You need these results to display first. These results should be second, you should search these fields. So it's much more easier for you will be to make experiments here before changing code in Visual Studio. And now when I know that I need to remove one condition from query, let me find this file in Visual Studio and make changes. Here's my Visual Studio, search controller, it uses search repository. I open the implementation and scroll. Oh, I can use search by 0.8 because I know about it. Yeah, here it is. Here we have full name like search tab. Let's remove it and we'll see what we'll have built. Oh, oops, not rebuild. Oh, okay, build Trafalgar site. It's building. Yeah, build was succeed. Let's check. Will we get different results? It takes some time to restart server. And we have only four search results. We see that Ireland disappeared from search, and that is how you can find issues. What's wrong with your search? You can tune your search to move one results under or after another by using this boosting. For example, this values in search query is boosting, and you can make experiments with boosting before changing the code, before building, before restarting server, and it takes much less time than if you change one string of code, make build, wait for site loading, and oops, that was a different change, and cycle is executed again. But if you're still using Lucene, you also have some tools for troubleshooting. Of course, they are not so good as for SOLR, but for Lucene is available Luke tool. Here is screenshot. With this tool, you are able to open Lucene indexes, and also you will be able to open SOLR indexes too, because SOLR indexes are based on Lucene. For example, let me open data folder. Index doesn't look similar to Lucene index, and it's inside SOLR. So that's all that I wanted to present. Now time for questions.
Thanks, Anton. I have a question.
Yep.
In one of the earlier slides, you talked about making an index rebuild version of the indexes on a separate server, it looked like, and then you swapped them out. You rebuilt, rebuilt one server, swapped out. I'm going to guess that swapping process is automated, or because you were talking about changing config files as well.
To start rebuild index, you need. Let me open this slide. So out of the box, Sitecore comes with two index configurations that are present in Sitecore assemblies. It's SOLR search index and it's switch on rebuild SOLR search index configuration. You need to let me back to Sagittarius website, for example. You need to open Sitecore content search, for example, master configuration. Do you want to reload? No, I don't want. Here, change type, not here, here in index, change type from SOLR search index to switch on rebuild index core, and additional parameter I don't exactly remember, but maybe it's rebuild core, and you will need type something rebuild, and also set up this core on your SOLR server, and everything should start work.
And that's a one-time change, one-time setup, and after that, every time you rebuild the index, it automatically swap them out for you.
Yeah, it will swap automatically after each rebuild.
Brilliant, thank you.
Any other questions?
Nothing else from here.
Does SOLR help you? Can you hear me, Anton?
Yes, I can hear you.
Is there functionality that you can add into SOLR or that comes with SOLR that does like suggestive searching? So if you started typing island in your Trafalgar example, yeah, predictive suggestions. Do you mean Iceland? Do you mean Ireland? That kind of thing.
I think that about suggest functionality of SOLR, first of all, to use it, you will need to open SOLR config, and here should be I think /suggest or something. So for SOLR, there is a handler that that make suggest available, and you can so by the address of on website on so you let me check. Let me open some query, for example, here, and here is select. Instead of select, could be used suggest verb. It's not enabled in this suggest. It's no suggest name default was configured, so you can see that it isn't configured for now, but you can add configuration for suggest in SOLR config, and you will be able to use this web service on SOLR to use some suggestion, and when user will start typing, you can send text what user typed to this address, and you will get response with suggested results. And so you can use it directly from SOLR. The other way how it's possible to use suggested search is covered under Sitecore Content Search TEMS API. So in Sitecore Content Search, you are able to get TEMS. And actually, that TEMS you get from this suggest endpoint.
Okay.
So
cool. Thank you.
Anything else?
Doesn't look like it. No.
Thank you, Anton.
Thanks, Anton.
Thanks, Anton.
Okay, so thanks everyone for attention.
Thank you.
And goodbye.